And if you come in, you violate these laws, you're going to get dealt with. And that's going to be civil or criminal charges or face shutdown of your business or operation. So that's what the sheriff's office is here for. That's what the boarding home detail and the sheriff's office and the fire marshal's office work together with doing. APS is instrumental in assisting us at getting these residents placed in the proper care facilities that they need. Like the chief said, some of the residents were non-ambulatory, which means they have mobility issues, issues with taking care of themselves. So they need special or personalized care treatment. So we're out here, we're getting, it's ongoing investigation, and we're helping getting these residents placed to the proper places they need to, that are licensed, that are up to code and up to permit. I don't know if APS wants to say anything. No? Do you guys have any questions?
What do we know about the company that's running this facility?
It appears to be a mom and pop. It started out as a boarding home or two boarding homes that basically they were collecting money from the residents and not paying the rent. And the mortgage or lease company decided to evict them. So we went out to these locations, they were already gone. We were able to track down through, Detective Lauer was able to track down and find this location through various investigative methods. And we found this location, came, did an knock and talk, and discovered, no one here was licensed or permitted, not even the healthcare providers. So that's an issue for us.
So there were no healthcare providers inside?
There was healthcare providers inside, but they weren't licensed or permitted.
Okay, so there were like 16 adults in there?
Correct.
Were there like an adequate number of people to assist with them?
So that part, the biggest thing is there was more people per bedroom than is what's allowed by the regulations. So the boarding home regulations, it's 60 square feet per a person per bedroom. There was like 3 or 4 people per bedroom in a 120 square foot bedroom, and that's not enough space.
And I also want to say, this is where us working together, some of these should be in an assisted living, which is a very unique situation for us, because we normally work together on the boarding homes. Knowing that some of these should have been in assisted living, it's hard for us to answer that question, how many licensed healthcare workers could there have been, because then that goes into state regulations, but that's part of the investigation we'll be working.
Do you have a kind of an age range for the people that were living here?
It's mostly elderly people, 65 and older. Most of them 65 or older. Different disabilities, different illnesses, different needs, things like that.
So I understand there was some shuffling of people before you located them here. Is it that they were tipped off that you all were looking, or?
I think it was more the fact that they were going to be evicted because they weren't paying the rent, but they were taking the residents' money.
Now, were the families able to contact them?
Yes, so we have APS on site, contacting family members as best we can. And if we can release them to the family, we'll release them to the family. If the family can take care of them until they can find suitable living conditions, that's what we're going to try to shoot for. If they can't, then they're going to be placed in other assisted living facilities or other boarding homes or what have you. If they need medical care or treatment, they might have to go to the hospital. So it's just depending on whatever their needs are.
Is it too early to talk about the charges that this mom and pop are going to face?
It's too early right now. It's still ongoing, still early. We have to go back and look at certain times when we contacted the previous owner in the past and gave them notice, things like that. So if you're operating a boarding home without a permit, you face a Class B misdemeanor, fines $1,000 a day per violation. There are criminal charges,
yeah,
possibly.
And again, this is unique because based on some of the things that we're finding here, and that's part of the fluid investigation, there's also assisted living issues going on. So there's additional charges. The fire marshal's office has issued a stop work order, which means immediately this place is shut down, which is why we're staying here tonight until all of these residents are in a safe location.
So where are the owners, or the people who are running this operation?
They refuse to come.
They have not. They refused to come by. We were able to call them on the phone. We'll be working on following up with them and working with the sheriff's office and the fire marshal's office and the county district attorney's office, as well as the county attorney's office. We just want to make sure that people understand that, and the community understands that these homes pop up, people move. You know, we're trying to do our best to identify these problem facilities and take care of them and make sure that they're permitted and licensed. So the residents in there, they are truly vulnerable. They're at risk. You know, obviously there's a pandemic going around, and if you're being charged money and they're not paying their rent or mortgage and they're being kicked out and moved in the middle of the night like gypsies, that's not good. There's mobility issues. If there was a fire, I think we were talking today, there was a fire in Philadelphia that in low-income housing that killed 13 people or children, and most of these residents wouldn't be able to get out of the house alive if there was a fire. So that's why we're out here. That's why you have these collaborations and partnerships to identify these at-risk residents and consumers and do our best to bring all the bad operators up to standard and up to par.
And we'd also like to say, all of us, but definitely the Sheriff's Department and the Fire Marshal's office, if you have a question about something you see in your neighborhood, or you see something that you go, hey, I think there's a lot of activity there, call us. Reach out to us on email. Both of us have websites. You can send in a lodge a complaint. Let us know, because this is how these type of people are going to be taken care of and put in safe locations that they deserve. We got a complaint today, stayed on it, found this, and now these people are going to be safe tonight, sleeping in a place where they can get the care they need, the medication they need. But we cannot stress enough, please let us know. We've got teams that they want to help people, and so thank you for getting that message out for us. Okay.
Are the people running the home renting this home? Or does the owner of this home even know what's going on with the home?
I can't speak on that right now.
We really need to get back, because we've got to start getting some of these. It's getting dark.
Other than too many in one room, talk about the conditions inside the house. Was it obstacles for them to get out, or was it cluttered? Talk about the conditions.
Do you want to say anything, Sean?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the conditions inside the house, although it appeared to be clean, there was a lot of materials that were blocking exits, blocking hallways. Obviously, the house is not equipped for residents that have wheelchairs and things of that nature. And so as far as the conditions inside, and also understand that these people have just most recently moved here. So some of them arrived actually this afternoon, right before we located them. So the conditions are still ever changing inside the house, and as we're starting to identify additional things. So,
It's getting dark.
Chad Shaw, Deputy Chief with the Harris County Fire Marshal Office.
Can you give us your name as well?
It's getting dark.
Brian
I'm gonna make
Chudy.
sure we get-
Boarding Home
Say
Detail.
it on the mic so we can all have it.
I'm Sergeant Brian Chudy with the Boarding Home Detail Sheriff's Office.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Good? Got it?
It's circulation. That's the problem.